evening or afternoon or whatever the hell time it is for you. And welcome. Today, we are going to talk about libertarianism. But before we get started, I would like to say that MGTOW has absolutely no political affiliations. It's just that some of the similarities between MGTOW and libertarianism do exist. And it's only logical that one grew out of the other. Joining me on stage, we will have such noted guests as Mouth the Gape Ape. There he is.
Greetings.
Here to throw shit at everyone.
If I have to. I've been holding it all day.
All right. And what kind of targets do you have in the audience tonight, Ape? I cannot see them.
I don't see. I'm trying to get to the messages here, maybe. Comments. Yes. The chat. No comments. Seraphin's here. Char. Frost. Greetings, fellas. Metal Gear Punisher. R.O. I would especially throw a turd at him.
Okay. Now,
just
he's
for
not a
the
big fella, so you'd have to be really accurate.
Yes. Frost, the most racist man on YouTube's here. Tom Landry's here.
I like that picture you put out today, Frost, of the snake choking the eagle. That was a good one. All right. So, Mr. Ape.
Yes.
What
JR's here, by the way.
Oh, hey, JR. What is libertarianism?
Would you like me to read what I have found?
I would love you to read what you have found.
Okay. Classical libertarianism, also known as classical liberalism, is a political philosophy that prioritizes individual liberty, limited government, and free market economics. It emerged during the Age of Enlightenment in Europe and North America and heavily influenced figures like John Locke and Adam Smith. Core principles. Classical libertarians emphasize the moral and political importance of the individual. They believe that individuals, not groups or the state, are the basic unit of a legal order. Limited government. A fundamental tenet is a deep skepticism of government power. They believe the state's authority should be severely limited to only those functions necessary to protect individuals' rights. Rule of law. This principle means that individuals are governed by publicly known, generally applicable laws rather than by the arbitrary decisions of rulers or bureaucrats. Free markets. Following classical economists like Adam Smith, classical libertarians argue that free markets and the pursuit of self-interest leads to greater wealth and prosperity for society as a whole. They are critical of government intervention, such as social welfare programs and price controls. Negative rights. They believe in negative rights, which are rights to freedom from interference by others or the government. Examples include freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to property. There is also a classical libertarians versus modern libertarianism. And you have the classical side. The origin arose in the 17th and 18th centuries with thinkers like Locke and Smith. Now, the modern is revived in the mid-20th century in the U.S. and often identified with figures like Ayn Rand, Murray Rothbard, and Robert Nozick. Approach to tradition is more accepting of the role of tradition in limiting individual liberty, prioritizing order alongside freedom. The modern tends to elevate pure reason over tradition, rejecting restrictions It doesn't understand even if they're hysterically enhanced overall liberty. And role of government supports a limited government, but has traditionally accepted some public services like defense, law enforcement, and certain public works. Modern holds a more extreme anti-state position. Many minarchists advocates for only police, military, and courts, while anarcho-capitalists seek to eliminate the state entirely.
Yep. Well, so if MGTOW is no marriage, no cohabitation, and no new children, what we have done is we have said with that, we are not going to consent to be governed on these specific things, because our state, which is, I would term what we live in America as crony capitalism right now. That's our economic state, and it's got cronyism is masquerading as a constitutional republic. That's what I would argue that we have right now. And the cronyism, some people might call it conservatism. They want to conserve the powers that be in the hands of the powers that be. And I'm not really for that, because I believe that this gives men a bad, a bad time, that we're being oppressed under the system of governance that we have, not the system of government that's actually written into our Constitution, but the system of government, how it's evolved and been transmuted from its original intent, which was solidly based on traditional libertarianism. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's only one fucking word away from John Locke's treatise on what the purpose of government is the pursuit of life, liberty, and property. That's what he would tell you. Only the pursuit of happiness was switched out in our Declaration of Independence. So we have gone a long way from where we were when the country was founded to what we have today. And it's not been in a good direction. George Washington nailed it in his farewell address. He told us three things. And the worst one that we've done, because we have violated everything that George Washington told us to watch out for, but the worst one is partisanship. By separating ourselves into factions, Democrats, Republicans, Whigs, and Democrats, that type of thing, it has allowed us to be divided. And divide and conquer is it's a time-honored tradition when subduing an enemy. But these divisions are artificial, and they're done as a mind game that lets us consent to the conditions that we live under. Oh, we're a nation of laws. We need the rule of law. Well, that's true to an extent, to prevent anarchy. But where does the consent of the governed end? What percentage of us need to not consent anymore so that we, can legitimately say, I do not consent, and constitutionally we would have the ability then to rise up and do something about it. But that goes against what men walking away is all about. We are not into grouping together. That was the failure of the MRAs. But at what point in time do you as the individual have the moral standing, the inalienable right to stand up and say, no more of this shit? And the answer to that is right now. And you can get away with it as long as you're not violent about it. You know, I always say, don't feed the pig. Kind of funny coming from me, I know.
RO's got a good point here. He says politicians should be banned from serving more than 2 terms and also banned for life from lobbying.
I agree.
The lobbyists run our government.
They do. The lobbyists, the bureaucrats, and the special interests. And the big businesses and the banks. Especially the banks. You know, and as classical libertarian, which I kind of am, I like Ayn Rand, but I agree a lot more with John Locke than I do with her. You ever read Atlas Shrugged, Ape?
No.
It's quite the book. You should read it.
Well, I'm a misogynist, so I don't like reading books written by girls.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second. I'm going to try and contact 2 other people who were supposed to be on this panel, but seem to have gotten lost. So the show is yours for a few moments.
All right, let's go through and look to see who else is here. Resurgence, Seraphin, JR, RO, Tom Laundry. Moki Alex is here. Haven't seen you in a while. Hello, Moki. Shar. Did I miss anybody? I don't think we got Metal Gear Punisher. How are you? I think I got everybody else that's in here right now. It says 19 here now. So oh, MGTOW Infinium. Greetings. Thank you for coming in.
They're going back.
Did you get a hold of them?
I texted them. Of course, we're dealing with, you know, forces of nature like beer and hamsters, and also
corn cobs
vodka, corn cobs and Saunders. Yeah. You know, Saunders just might be vapor locked. I don't know. We'll see.
He might not be able to talk.
That's true. It was something he ate.
Tom Laundry says hamsters like soup.
Yes, hamsters love soup.
He likes making soup or chili on Sundays and then eating it and drinking beer and watching foosball.
Yeah. I had to put my foosball game away and make that sacrifice for you brothers. So that's
I have not watched a foosball game since all the assholes kneeled down. That was the last time I watched one. Hey, there's Dr. Ginger Hamster. There's no damn link.
Oh my God, Dr. Hamster, I sent you a link on your thing, but I will post another link, and this is a link for the hamster as soon as it pops up here.
JR says hamster's napping on Beer Can Mountain.
I guess that's better than falling asleep on Brokeback Mountain.
Ooh.
And my fucking StreamYards is going insane here. Come on, StreamYards. Okay. I'll
Hit
just
the link,
fucking
hamster.
post.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Cybertoxins Ghost is in here. Greetings.
Sam, shut the fuck up. He's being a whiny little bitch. Okay. And here it is, Brokeback's hamster, all ready for Christmas.
Oh yeah. Well, it's already October. Think about it. Damn it.
Greetings, you Christmas rodent.
Gape, gape, gape. Can't even take a nap, and you guys are all over me. You sons of bitches.
How could we resist?
It's true. I am an irresistible bastard. I know.
Anyways, we've been talking about classical libertarianism. Do you have any thoughts?
I have a number of thoughts, actually. What are your thoughts? What did I miss?
Well, that would we laid out the definition of classical libertarianism. And I talked a little bit about how even though that was the foundation of our country, we have strayed almost completely away from it and switched to cronyism. And I also was drawing a few parallels between MGTOW and classical libertarianism.
I see.
Ape was telling about the modern libertarianisms, which are basically, Ayn Rand and company, versus the classical guys, which is John Locke. And that's about the summary of it so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I would say is, of course, I'm here in Colorado, as you know, in the communist hellhole that the state has become. And I think the modern libertarian, at least up until a few years ago, all they cared about was their fucking dope. They didn't give a shit about anything else. And in some ways, I think this is the modern, not classic, right? These are the modern ones. And so they get dope legalized, but they didn't realize what was going to come along with that. And here you have literally a communist in Colorado is the governor, a communist. So they got what they wanted, but the surprise was the other 99% they didn't think about or they didn't give a shit about. I want my free weed and I want all this crap. And here we go. So I look at it as the slippery slope, right? You got a lot of women they love Donald Trump, but they cannot deal with not having abortion. But they don't understand what comes along with that particular thing, right? It's the rest of it. You get Colorado, you get California. So that's my take on it. But the rest of it I agree with, yeah.
Well, but John Locke, he postulates that you can have this type of libertarianism if you're in a trust-based society where you shared a common moral set. He preached religious tolerance, but he also said that there were inalienable rights and conditions of man, where people would have the way that they function in society would be governed by a moral code that was fairly uniform across the nation. And that worked pretty well in 17th century England. But as we've seen, especially like in your Colorado example, if you don't have that common moral code, then chaos erupts. And not the guy from Texas either.
You a funny guy. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, the general idea, if I'm not mistaken, is, yeah, you know, I'm free to do what I want. I'm a free person and all this stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Government minimized, all that. Yes. Yes. But that's just not the way it works. It's not the way it works.
Well,
I'm living in the place where it doesn't work. You can clearly see it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work because we don't have the greater good of society in our minds. You know, people don't make altruistic fucking decisions for themselves.
And the government never gets smaller.
Never.
No.
You give them power and they take more and more and more. And that's exactly what's happening here. Oh, yeah, we'll give you your free dope, but, and then all they say, well, I want dope, so I don't care about the rest of that shit. It's cool, man. I'm getting toked up. And then once it's here, you can't get rid of it. It's very, very difficult. Then the next thing is to go is your guns, right? There's already a 3-day waiting period up here, right? Next year, you can't even buy a black type rifle in this state. You can't get one. It's illegal. This is the slippery slope. And here we go.
Yeah, in Washington, you have to have a new license now just to be able to buy a firearm. And my cousin is working in North Dakota, and he went to a gun shop, and he was looking at some rifles. And usually you can go to another state, buy a rifle or shotgun, and there's no problem. They said, well, we'll need to see your ID. He showed him a Washington ID, and he goes, no, I can't sell it to you because we'd have to ship it to Washington, and that's illegal. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to send it to your federal firearm officer or whatever, federal firearm, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Yeah, I guess because a few weeks ago we went to Cabela's up there in Lone Tree, and it's a 3-day fucking waiting period. You can't just go buy a gun. Next year, you can't buy a pew-pew, a special pew-pew, because it's evil. You know how it goes. So that's the problem with the libertarian modern types. They don't understand there's a whole lot more to it. They see one thing. Oh, yeah, the dope or the abortion or the whatever. But then once they get the power, as Abe said, they never give it up. That's the end of it. And it keeps getting worse. So
yeah, you've got a communist governor, and New York is going to elect a communist mayor. Yeah, that guy's going to get in. You know he is.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, and then
Eric, the guy he was going against, the current mayor, Eric, somebody I can't remember his last name. He conceded today. He's not going to run Adams. Democrat. Yeah,
Eric Adams. Yep. And now you have was it in Dearborn, Michigan? The call to prayer is disturbing people, and of course that's verboten. You can't say anything about that. You evil Christians, you're oppressing people. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, they'll throw a parade when you leave town.
Yeah, sure.
But let's talk about libertarianism and MGTOW. You know, what are the parallels that you see? Or do you see any other type of political thought that more closely mirrors the MGTOW philosophy?
Well, I believe people that want to, men that want to go their own way, want their personal liberties and freedom from the government's boot on their neck. So I can see how it could cross over. The classical style, I should say.
Right.
But I
They
mean,
want to be free to do their own thing, free to have their own businesses, and not have the government interrupting them and harassing them. And that's just not how it is anymore. It seems like.
Yeah, and freedom to control the destiny of your own property. Freedom, not to become an indentured servant of the state and your ex-wife, but mostly of the state.
Well, the state gets their cut no matter what, right? They're getting their piece. So
I would like freedom from HOAs. You hear that, RO?
Yeah. But I mean, there's also danger involved. Just what I just got done saying is that you concentrate on one particular thing and they say, oh yeah, you're right, we should have that. And then they bring in a whole bunch of other bullshit that you didn't think about. So.
Well, that's what has happened in places where they allow, they allow something like narcotics to be introduced into society, where they make people fucking stupid on purpose. They do that by controlling the education and also medication. People getting high and people being drunk all the time make bad decisions.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And if you get enough people high and drunk, you can do anything you damn well want, which is what's happened in Colorado and California and Oregon and Washington.
Yeah, coming soon to a state near you, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff spills over into the other states that are close because people flee those states, but they bring their fucking politics with them.
Yep.
And every one of those states has gone extremely downhill that's legalized that.
Yeah.
Colorado used to be able to walk. Denver used to be able to walk on 16th Street Mall and not be worried about it. Now you got to worry about all the homeless and people approaching you aggressively for money, and there's a bunch of homeless kids running around down there and junkies strung out walking around. It's terrible.
That's why I don't even bother going out after sunset. Forget it. That's enough of that. I don't need it. It's all bullshit. But I mean, yeah, go downtown to a ball game or something. It's like, oh my God, it's frightening. And that's what you get. You get all this extra shit along with the one thing you wanted. I mean,
but
do you really think?
Hamster, there, what's happened in Colorado is not really libertarianism, is it?
Well, it started out as, I would say, the dope smokers, the bolder dope smokers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could be, Brandon, is what they did was they used the dope as another wedge. And when I say they, I mean the communists.
Yeah.
To come on in. That's what they're doing. That's what they do with abortion and women's rights and feminism. The whole thing. Everything is just a wedge. They don't give a shit. They just want the power. That's all. That's it. So, yeah.
Well, feminists are fucking easy. They fuck. And that's how feminism grew to be widely accepted, is because the fucking boomer chicks were, the feminist boomer chicks were fucking. It was like, hey, yeah, we're getting pussy. This is good stuff. Well, guess what? It's not as good as you think it was.
Right. Yeah, you and again, I think it goes back to these people understood the psychology of humans. The Frankfurt School type people. They knew what was going to happen. You unleash, and I mean, I'm not shitting on women, but let's be honest. You unleash them, and they make a lot of really bad decisions. And now here we are today, and we're just supposed to accept that as men. Because, that's just the way it is. No, it's not the way it is. It's the way you let it become, you idiots. I mean, come on. We can blame our fathers and granddaddies for that.
Yeah, it's all about the consent. We as a nation consented to this. People were dick thinking.
Yep.
They were fucking dick. and we dick thunk our way into what we have now.
And it's just going to keep getting worse. Here, I got to go get a shirt. I'll be right back.
I'd like to say that Dick Thunk would be a great band name.
Well, Rad probably knows about the Dick Thunkers. He has access to the best music on YouTube. You know, I always like watching the very beginnings of Rad shows because it fucking, you know, you never know what you're going to hear, and it always fucking rocks.
That Rad, he's just a 53-year-old skateboarder at heart.
There we go. Now I'm better.
Excellent. Well, you could have gone shirtless, hamster.
You guys get cold, though.
I went shirtless for my first little short, and it made RO upset.
Oh, well. Well, Brandon, you should be ashamed of yourself. You bastard, upsetting people. How dare you?
Yeah. Well, I should have put peanut butter on my nipples, and it would have been okay.
Oh, God, here we go. Oh, boy.
How very libertarian of you, making people upset.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily see libertarianism, classical libertarianism, as a bad thing. You know, and it is not the dope smoking libertarianism. You know, the guys who invented it were very sober people, and
it's been completely corrupted.
Oh yeah. And apparently Riggs is here because people are making fart emojis.
Farting noises, yes.
Yeah.
And Mita from Finland is in the building as well, I saw.
All right.
Yeah. You're bad, Brandon. You're international and nationwide.
Yes. And that's just my waistband.
Oh. You could have said the size of your wee-wee. Yeah.
So, do you have any idea what political school of thought would be more MGTOW than libertarianism?
Probably in its original Ayn Rand kind of form, or you know, back then, I would agree it's probably, but it's not today. It's just not today.
Right. That's why I've got classical libertarianism in the title of the show. I know.
But I'm saying that's one thing. It's great, you know, classical stuff.
Yeah.
Again, Ayn Rand was kind of full of bullshit sometimes too. If you've read her books, right?
Yeah, she was not exactly into monogamy.
No, nope.
She was exercising some very fundamental female traits that I don't approve of.
Yeah, I mean, she's certainly interesting. I read, several of her books. What's the big one? Fountainhead, or
the Fountainhead is the second biggest. The biggest one,
Atlas Shrugged.
Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah. And I never did get through the whole thing, but I got through about 3/4 of it. But when she got to the whole love story shit, I'm typical female garbage. Oh, Antonio, his copper mine down in South America. It's like, oh, Jesus. But I mean, I get her point.
Looker. So she was giving it up for free, and she wasn't a looker.
Yeah, but I mean, her story obviously is something, comes from, Russia, Soviet Union, all that. So I understand that part of it. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it exists today. Actually, MGTOW might be, it might be about as libertarian as you get nowadays. But the danger, of course, again, you're looking at that one thing very, very strongly, the female thing, the marriage stuff. And you could get a tyrant that comes in and promises you all this shit, and then you get a lot of other crap that you didn't plan on. So, I mean, we're all being played. We're all just puppets in this game, right? We're all just little pawns that the politicians move around. Gee, I hate to be the, Mr. Bummer here, Debbie Downer, but yeah. The older I get, the more I'd like to live to see what actually happens in 20, 30, 50 years. That'd be interesting. Ramadi is here. Oh my God.
Brandon, good to see you, brother. How you doing down there? Out there? How you doing out there in Kansas, out on the wide open prairie?
Doing good.
Good.
Doing good.
Good. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. This is the 1000th episode of something on my original channel.
Yeah.
I have almost 400 episodes on my secondary channel, and then 3 episodes on my new channel. So we're almost pushing to, probably 1,500 episodes, 1,500 videos out there. But for this channel, this is number 1000.
Well, you're going to have to call it something else, because I don't really think you can call it the World Tour anymore, can you?
Well, I didn't call this the World Tour. So, yeah.
No.
Great
No,
minds
but
think alike.
before. So you have to come up with another catchy name for when you stream.
Yeah.
Hey, and Hamster and I were on your last video on this channel.
That's true. That's true. The one that got us taken down.
Oh, no.
We're
I
back.
mentioned that the COVID-19 vaccine was made out of murdered babies.
Stem cells.
And
yes.
yep, the RNA in the mRNA vaccine is intubated in fetal infant stem cells, which are harvested from aborted babies. So yay, if you took it, guess what they made you take? I know you had to take it, Hamster, because your rights as a human didn't matter versus fucking Pfizer's bottom line.
Hamster rights matter.
Yeah, that is correct. Take it or you lose your job. That's right. Thank you, Joe Biden. Appreciate that.
Yep. And they're talking now about we live in a police state because Jimmy Kimmel got fucking put off the air for a week. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
There is no equivalency. You forced fucking half the nation to put poison in their bodies to become fucking, de facto cannibals for some goddamn fucking pharmaceutical company's bottom line. And Donald Trump helped them.
Oh, he did?
Yep. Operation Warp Speed. You guys make this stuff and we will make it so nobody can sue you.
Thanks, I just remember
Don.
that. Yeah. Well,
Brandon, you're starting to talk like a classical libertarian.
Yeah. So what does Ramadi think of all this? Do you have any opinion, Ramadi? I'm sure you do, sir.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back in, 2019, when I started down this path with you, Hamster, and Hammerhand, and Undead Chronic, and I was, going deeper down the rabbit hole looking for answers, I started to realize and understand that what was originally intended is not what's been happening for almost my entire life, and I'll be 50 next week.
Man, you're getting old.
I know. I mean, and it wasn't, just the divorce. I mean, that was just a small part of it. Just the fact that I've been lied to my whole life, pretty much about everything. And yeah, I mean, it's bread and circus. It's a bait and switch. It's, hey, pay attention to this hand, but don't pay attention to what we're doing over here with this hand. And people, and I hate to say it because I fall into this category. I mean, Homo sapiens, human beings as a species, we're pretty fucking stupid and easily manipulated. And I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. Or I should say, we can be pretty fucking stupid and easily manipulated.
Yeah, if you don't understand what's going on or what has happened, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people they just don't care. They care more about their Netflix and their delivery food. And they don't give a shit about what's going on. It's amazing. Yeah.
Netflix and chill and Uber Eats and the medical marijuana dispensary where I can go get my prescription and get fucking smoked out of my goddamn skull. Which, I mean, I get it, if it's the legit medical reason, I understand. I mean, my home state, Oklahoma, they went medical back in 2018, which I was really surprised because it's the Bible Belt. But states made a lot of money off of that, same as the other states that have gone that way. I've also heard that Oklahoma is trying to go medical and recreational. Not sure how that's really going to work. But yeah, it's just, and as a veteran, the oath that I swore, and I'm sure Brandon can understand this, that I raised my right hand and swore on numerous occasions, because I've had multiple enlistments over almost 20 years, didn't serve anything other than the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, but the oath we took itself to defend the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic.
And domestic, yeah. No, I hear what you're saying.
We failed the domestic part. We have not defended that Constitution from the enemy's domestic.
No, we haven't.
And sadly, that failure dates back almost 2 centuries. Because if you look, even Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers, the author of the Declaration of Independence and a good deal of the Constitution and of the Bill of Rights, a great man, when he got into office, what did he do? He got us into a war with the Barbary pirates. Granted, it was probably justified. They were taking our ships and fucking enslaving our sailors. And he bought the Louisiana Purchase. George Washington warned us about expansionism, foreign entanglements, and partisanship. And by the time Jefferson was in office, all of those warnings had been thrown in the toilet. And they haven't looked back since. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse.
It's power. That's power corrupts, man. That's there's a reason why it's a saying.
Yeah, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. I mean, shit. Watch Star Wars. Watch the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. It tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But,
you bring up Oklahoma with the weed, and you also mentioned Bible Belt. That's another one of those issues that gets these fucking evil people in power. Look at me. I go to church every Sunday. That doesn't mean anything. Look at the governor of Missouri. He's supposedly a Republican. He's bringing in all this bullshit. It doesn't mean they're using it as a crutch, as a wedge to get in there. Oh yeah, I'll protect your right, and blah 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 blah.
Oh, yeah,
Missouri,
well,
you
yeah.
can have abortions all day in Missouri. They don't care. Or if they don't have it already, they will. Kansas, look at that, right? Bible Belt,
First
Kansas.
in the nation.
Yep.
Kansas was first in the nation to reject the Roe versus Wade when they just overturned Roe versus Wade.
Right.
You know, they said we're keeping our abortions.
Yep.
You can't get much more red than Kansas, but the women want to fucking murder babies.
Yeah.
It's like female nature is universal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said,
female nature knows no party lines. Yeah.
I've said it a million times. Just because a woman calls herself conservative doesn't mean she is totally conservative. She might be conservative with respect to taxes and various other things, maybe even immigration, all that crap. But God damn it, when it comes to their abortions, don't even talk to them. Even the Republican women want those abortions because they want to be able to go out and fuck around with no consequence. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Universal, as Brandon said.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, from what I've heard, and again, I mean, I'm in the Panhandle, Florida. You all know that. But yeah, the Republican governor said it. Yeah, once Roe v. Wade was overturned, yeah, he said it was going back to the states. Now, again, I'm not there. I've never had to deal with that. I'm just kind of taking him on his word. But again, he's a politician. You know, even though he's a Republican and he's a quote unquote Christian conservative, native Oklahoman. Again, that all sounds good on paper, but you know what happens behind closed doors. Come on, man, you can't be that naive. You think he hasn't gotten in bed with the devil just like all the rest of them at some point in time?
Yeah, when the doors close, the money exchanges hands.
Yep. Smoke-filled back rooms. Yep. That's where the deals happen.
All right. Well, back to the original topic of drawing parallels between MGTOW and classical liberalism or libertarianism. Can you see any other parallels that we could draw from classical libertarianism to MGTOW? Not necessarily what is happening now, but how we are responding to it as MGTOW. You know, I see all kinds of stuff with Stoicism, where there are lots of parallels between Stoicism and MGTOW, and how Stoicism really helps us as men. You know, understanding what battles we can fight and which ones we can't. You know, that's one of the reasons we got away from the MRA is we understood that we cannot combat this spreading cancer by engaging as part of the body that's sickened by it. You know, we have to walk away. You know, that comes directly from Stoicism. You know, that also comes from, you know, the classical liberal or libertarianism, where you are governed by the will, by the consent of the governed. The government is by the will of or consent of the governed, and we decided we're not going to consent. You know, that's why we're walking away. I've taken that in my personal life, not to be a consumer. I don't feed the ever growing consumerist beast out there that transports our jobs overseas and feeds the banking industry with fucking immediate gratification buying. You know, if you are buying shit on your credit card or taking out home equity lines of credit to buy a new truck or something like that, you are feeding the banking cartels. You know, and that goes against the usury part of MGTOW. You know, I'm a Christian. I'm also a MGTOW, and both of those say don't do usury. I look at these mega churches where they pray for prosperity. Jesus would have beaten the shit out of these people and kicked them out of the temple, just like he did the money lenders in Jerusalem. It's the only time our Lord God lost his temper. The only time was when he went into the temple and they were trying to, you know, tell him that he wasn't the Messiah. And he said, whose face is on your money? And they beat the hell out of him and sent him out the door. And then they killed him for it. But
Are you saying that it's table flipping time?
I'm not proposing that we have any type of armed rebellion against the state. I'm just saying it's time for us to disengage.
Well, I didn't say that either. I just said flip some tables.
Oh, okay. Well, my table that I'm sitting at right now is bolted to the floor.
Oh, hard to flip it then. But
Yeah.
you could do it. You're a real man. You're a real man. You can do it now.
I probably could, but it would fuck so much shit up if I did.
No, I agree with what Brandon said, you know, about the whole, you know, usury thing. Try to minimize that as much as possible. I mean, like for me, I mean, obviously, you know, the running joke is, you know, I live in an empty apartment, which I do, which hence the echo, which you have not commented on yet. I'm still waiting for it. I don't know. Am I echoing or no?
I got both you and Hamster echoing. So
Yeah,
okay.
my apartment's empty as well, so that's why I have echo.
But I mean, again, is it comfortable? Nah, not really. Have I lived under worse conditions in worse places with a hell of a lot less? Yeah, I have. So I'm not really complaining. I mean, I pay, you know, my minimal bills, keep a roof over my head, food in my fridge, dog food in the MGTOW Mutts bowl, you know, cold beer every once in a while, some dip. It's okay. It's a good life.
Yep. Well, I would like to thank everybody for coming. We're just about ready for hammer time, and we're coming up on an hour here. So, any final thoughts? Ramadi, you want to go first?
Thank you for having me. Good to see you again, man. Welcome back. No, man, I'm pretty much in lockstep with almost everything that you said. You just said it a lot better than I could have said it.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I figured you would be. You know, we need an echo chamber. Oh, there's your echo chamber.
Oh!
Oh, fuck you, you dick.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hamster, you got any final thoughts?
Well, Brandon, it's very good seeing you back on the internet again. I do miss our daily trips across the country, but I guess we'll come back when we can, you bastard.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me, you son of a bitch.
Thank you for answering your phone.
I know, right?
Hey, your final thoughts?
I gotta tell Hamster that I will come down to the Denver area, and take him out for a meal, but he has to be able to contact me. So Brandon has permission to give my phone number to the gingerest of hamsters. If he calls me,
I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
I did. So you're getting the hamster treatment on communication.
Oh, so it's just a normal day then.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Brandon, forward my number to Hamster as well, but I'm sure he'll leave me on red just like he does everybody else.
Well,
Hey.
you're not special that way.
I know.
You bastards.
I think if we can walk away and take some of our dignity with us and just get rid of the usury, the more you can do that, the better off you'll be in life. I ran into my ex-wife at the grocery store today, and when I got done with the very short conversation, it was relieving to go out, walk out into the parking lot, get into the car, and go to my house where she doesn't live.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Amen,
It felt
brother.
great. So,
And I'd like to thank everybody in the audience. I'm sorry I can't name you off, but I do see D-Man in there, my very first subscriber. Hey, D-Man. And it's time for to go watch the evil one himself. To go see about what's happening in the world and what's happening with the one and only Hammerhand Ted. So, peace out, brothers, and I will catch you on the stream, not the road, probably next weekend. Have a good day.
Talk to you then.
Later, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Yeah.